I've been getting loads of questions about our forthcoming smartphone app and what it'll do. So I thought I'd just try and put together a few slides to illustrate what the app's all about. Essentially, the app is made up of 9 interactive sections, and I'll talk you through each of those sections in turn. The first section is fairly straightforward. It does exactly what it says on the tin. It's theory of the week. Each week a different theory or model or method will be showcased. It'll just give a small amount of information around an A4 side to refresh the user about that theory, maybe just to bring that theory to mind. Maybe it's a theory they've not heard of before, they'd like to read more around, or maybe it's a theory that they have heard of but they've not used recently. It's just bringing theory back to mind for the user. Then the next section is theory, model, method or approach. At the moment that contains a video explaining the difference between a theory and a model and a method and an approach in social work. Over time, the content in each section will be varied and will change, but all around the subject heading of that particular part of the app. The next section is on critical reflection. That'll have advice on models of reflection, improving reflective writing. There'll be a section on reflective supervision. So it will have content which can be used by supervisors, by students, by qualified workers, by people undertaking their ASYE. There'll be a whole range of information on critical reflection in that section of the app. Then we've got making theory fun. That's really all about trying to break down the fear factor that surrounds theory in social work. So at the moment there's some films on there giving ideas of activities which practice educators can use with students. There's also something around a creative activity which a group of newly qualified social workers created. The next section, what, why, how, simply uses that framework, what, why and how, to explore a whole range of areas in social work. At the moment, that's exploring core values about social work, and the content that's on there is all about the importance of asking the why question in social work. The next section is question and answers. This gives the user the opportunity to submit a question, any question around theory or possibly critical reflection. They'll get an answer to their own email directly, but then a range of answers that might be useful, that might be commonly asked questions, will then appear on the app. So at the moment there's probably 4 or 5 questions on there that are fairly common questions. There's fairly to the question that you can tap on to get more information, and it will guide you to further reading or to different aspects of the app which might help answer that question. Really, the idea of the app is all about developing a critical friendship in your pocket. It's just about enabling people to see what can be useful to them in terms of making connections between theory and practice. So the next section is light bulb moments. There, a range of different social workers at different stages of their career have offered what's worked for them, their light bulb moments in terms of using theory and practice. It gives users the opportunity to read other people's light bulb moments, but also to submit their own light bulb moments. There's also a further reading and reviews section. People can say which books they found helpful and will guide them towards where they can buy those books from or those resources from. People can add reviews. There's a whole range of activity which will be available in that part of the app, which is all about the need for further reading around theory and practice. And then finally, at the top of the circle here is the envelope activity. A lot of people have asked me, what is that? How does it work? Over the years, I've developed this as an activity for students really and practitioners to use to look at how they might be able to connect theory with their own practice. The idea of the app is that it will help people in utilising that exercise. So when you go into the envelope activity, this is the home screen. There's a short film explaining the purpose of the envelope activity, how it works, how to get the most out of it. But just to give you a very quick showcase of what it'll do. You can go into the envelope activity and ask to create a new envelope. If you ask to create a new envelope, it will take you to a screen where you are invited to explore 4 key areas around your practice. You'd be looking at who is the service user in terms of the service user's identity. You would be looking at why are you working with this person, what work are you doing, and where do you work in terms of agency context of your practice. As you go into each screen, it will give you the opportunity to submit a range of information in that area, clearly all bearing in mind the importance of confidentiality. The user is responsible for the confidentiality element of the envelope, but in the who section, for example, you might write down the age of the person that you're working with and their gender, their race, ethnicity, any other issues that you want to explain about their identity. And then you would go into the screen to look at why you're working with them, what you're doing, and where you practice. When you've completed each of those screens, the green ticks will demonstrate to you that you have added some statements to all 4 parts of the envelopes. You'll then be given the opportunity to ask the app to suggest theories which might work in relation to the case that you've entered. If you ask it to suggest theories, it will give you the option of the app providing you with a range of different theory information which links directly into the case that you're working on. Over time, a charge will come in for the use of the envelope, so that we will ask people to pay 99p to have those theories suggested and brought into the envelope. Initially, as we're developing the app, an ID code will be available. If you contact us directly, we'll give you an ID code which you can submit just underneath the Suggest Theories button. There's a little bit that says or add your user ID. We'll give users IDs so that they can use the envelope for free for the first couple of months when the app is first launched. So you'll ask it to suggest theories for you, and then it will match. All of the tests that we've done is it takes less than a minute to do the matching, and then once you've asked it to match, the envelope will become sealed. You won't be able to change any more information in the envelope, but it will become sealed, and inside the envelope will appear the theory that you may find useful in relation to that case that you're working on. So for example here, the person has put in some information. The user's put in information that the service user they're working with is 67. That's then suggesting to you that you might want to look at Erikson's 8 ages and where that will take you to in terms of this adult's age. You can tap that little bit of information to give you more information about that theory so that you can explore whether that might be useful to you in this casework. They've also put in some information that says that the person's retired. So theories that might relate to that are thinking around aspects of personhood, but also thinking about grief and loss and the change in that individual's life. There may be some statements that you put into the envelope that provide no matches, but you do get the opportunity to tap an email, send an email over, and then I'll see if I can find a match for you. So initially we expect that there may be a number of statements that you add that don't get any matches, but over time the matching process will become improved. Certainly we've been trialling this now for a couple of months, and social workers that have used it have been really satisfied with the information that comes up in the envelope. The information is all stored for you. As long as you like, you can have as many case envelopes in as you want to. You'll see down the side it gives you the number of cases and the date that you submitted that envelope for sealing up. That information will be held for you, so it'll be great for use for CPD. The envelope does so much more, but that just gives you a taster of what we mean by the envelope activity if you've not seen it before. When you tap on the information, it'll give you again about an A4 piece of guidance about that theory, just an overview of the theory. But what it will do is it'll say to you, oh yeah, this theory could be really helpful in this particular case and situation, and then you can go and read some more on that theory. So that's a basic guide to the app. It does so much more, but I'm really proud of this app. 9 interactive sections that help the user to make the connections between theory and models and methods and approaches in social work to their own direct practice. I'm passionate about making theory more accessible, more fun and more usable for social work practitioners. I do hope that you'll find the app useful. We're in the final stages really now of getting the app together. We've been demonstrating it and trialing the use of the envelope during September and October, and we are in those very final stages now where we expect iPad availability very early in November, and then Android availability the following month, and then iPhone the month after that. So I do hope that you've found this short film about the app useful. Do let me know if you are interested or you want any more information about the app. Contact me or tweet me. I'll be trying to get information about the app out there for people in the next few months. Do let me know what you think of it. Do let me know how you found it when you use it.